My name is Minji, and this is a funeral tie. This is sort of like a unique video because we're approaching the business end of the season. There's a few things that are left undecided, and I thought I'd give a nice little prediction of what is about to happen. Of course, there are a few things that have been decided. So, in terms of the Premier League title winners, I've got my Luigi Watts from Osaka Universal Studios, and L stands for Liverpool. They were the Premier League champions, and of course, the relegation candidates. We already knew who they were. Nobody needs to predict them. It was already decided, probably by October, November time. That's how bad it was, unfortunately. But there are some trophies that are still up for grabs. All right, Crystal Palace beat Manchester City. I mean, we're all happy for Crystal Palace. I cannot stress to you how Crystal Palace literally have brought romance back into football. Of course, Newcastle United also won their first trophy in 50 years, winning the Carabao Cup earlier on. So some stuff that we do know, but let's go to the ones that we don't know. And sticking with themes of teams winning their firsts in their history or first in a long time, let's go to the Europa League between Manchester United versus Tottenham. Manchester United just have a habit of making finals despite having really, really, really poor seasons. And they're up against Spurs, serial bottlers. As much as it pains me to say it, though, like I said, it's like Newcastle winning their first trophy in 50 years. Crystal Palace winning the first ever cup ever. I don't wanna say it, but I'm gonna have to say it. I think Spurs will indeed break that trophy curse of theirs and stop being bottlers. I think they will beat Manchester United and win the Europa League and qualify for the UEFA Champions League. I hate it. I feel I feel physically sick saying it, but I'm gonna say it. I think they'll win it. And I think in the long run, it will be a good thing because if Manchester United end up winning it based upon their club stature and the name that they have around the world and the fact that they'll be in a Champions League despite being 16th in the Premier League table or wherever the fuck they are in the Premier League title, it's going to be bad news because they'll end up recruiting the players that they need for their Champions League campaign. I mean, out of Man United and Tottenham, I think Man United can still handle themselves quite well in the UEFA Champions League. Despite this season's calamity, they will use that money that they will get from the Europa League and obviously the Premier League income, and then they'll end up buying players that they need to have a European run in the UEFA Champions League. That's why I think for the long run, I think it will be better if, I hate saying it, but I think it will be better if Tottenham win it. Not to discount them. Of course, they could probably do something in the UEFA Champions League too, but compared to United versus Spurs, I'd probably say United have a better chance in the UEFA Champions League next season compared to Spurs. But of course, I think we're all along the lines of whoever wins the Europa League and qualifies for the UEFA Champions League, there'll be an absolute disaster. I'm waffling, but Spurs, I'm going to call it Spurs. That's my prediction for that one for later on today. The UEFA European Champions League. I don't know why I took my time saying that. UEFA Champions League. PSG versus Inter Milan. I'm going to stick with the theme of firsts and say that it will be PSG that will win the UEFA Champions League. They were the best team. They have been a very, very, very eye-catching, eye-pleasing team. They've looked solid. They've absolutely looked amazing. um, under Luis Enrique. And I think, in terms of the fact that the last time we had a first Champions League winner, um, actually that was Man City, so I was going to say it was Chelsea at the Allianz Arena, but no. Allianz Arena has produced a new Champions League winner, and that was, of course, Chelsea back in 2012. Um, will they produce another new one? I think so too, and I will put PSG down as the UEFA Champions League winners. Now on to the biggest competition. I saved the best to last. Chelsea versus Real Betis in the UEFA Conference League. Again, I'm going to go down the theme of firsts and say that it will be Real Betis's first major silverware. I think Anthony, a prime Real Betis Anthony, will shaft my beloved Chelsea. I really do. You know, like I've been saying that I've been so grateful that Fiorentina and Real Betis were on the other side of the draw. They will knock each other out, meaning we'd have a smoother route to the final. But you see what happened to Chelsea. They had one semi-decent team, and I'm going to put them as like a 15 to 20% of a semi-decent team in Legia Warsaw. And they ended up beating Chelsea 1-0. No, 2-1, sorry. You know what I'm saying? And that was a 15-20% decent team. Real Betis is a fully decent team. You know, other clubs in the Premier League will probably beat them, but I don't think Chelsea will. I think a prime Anthony will fuck Chelsea up the arse crack. They really will. So, as much as I hate to say it, Real Betis will be UEFA Conference League winners for the first time. Painful for me to say it. And the pain doesn't stop for me being a Chelsea fan, does it? Because, of course, the UEFA Champions League positions are all up for fucking grabs. Liverpool, Premier League winners, Arsenal in second place, secured. And then you've got Newcastle, Chelsea, no, Newcastle, Manchester City. Is it? I think Manchester City are third now, aren't they? I'll have to look at the table again. But either who, Manchester City, Newcastle, Chelsea, Aston Villa, and Nottingham Forest all fighting for 3 Champions League positions. And I fucking hate Newcastle, you fucking bellends. Why did you have to lose to Arsenal? Why? Why, you fucking dirty banchots? If you would have fucking drew to them or beaten them, I think if no, you know what? If you had beaten them, the whole of second to bloody what is it, 7th would have been up for like the like positions 2 to 7 would have been fighting for the Champions League. But as such, Newcastle's defeat to Arsenal meant that Arsenal and the bloody Liverpool have secured Champions League football. Now it's just, like I said, between Man City, Newcastle, Chelsea, Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest. Like I said, I think the misery will continue for being a Chelsea fan. I hate to say it, but Newcastle United will qualify. Manchester City will qualify. And therefore, it comes down to 5th place. And I think it will be Nottingham Forest that will get it. I really do. Chelsea have won only 1 away game in this calendar year in the Premier League, and it was to Fulham away. I don't see us beating Nottingham Forest away. We need to win it. We need to win it because we know Aston Villa are going to go up to Old Trafford and beat Manchester United. So we fucking have to just win and batter the shit out of fucking Nottingham Forest. But we're not going to do that. Nottingham Forest will beat Chelsea. Chelsea will unfortunately be missing out on the UEFA Champions League. And I hate to say it, but they will do. Inshallah, Chelsea will make the Champions League. And I'll pray to dear heaven on earth that we'll make it, but we won't. we won't. Unfortunately, we won't. So I'm gonna put on the funeral march song and cry in the corner like a little wimp and take it from there. But those are my predictions. Champions League will be for Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester City, Newcastle, and Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa, and Chelsea will miss out. For the UEFA Champions League, it's going to be PSG. For the UEFA Europa League, it's going to be Tottenham. And for the UEFA Conference League, it will be Real Betis. I'm going to throw up now. Goodbye, good night, sayonara. Peace.